Do you have enough light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the Rabbi Jenny Show. I'm thrilled to be here. We have a very exciting topic. I want to remind you, you can check us out on iHeartRadio nationally, and you can also check us out at rabbijenny.tv live. Please watch old episodes of the Rabbi Jenny Show on YouTube or on my Facebook page, and like that while you're there. You can also Twitter me and Instagram me and whatever, and I will do my best to respond in these busy times. It is a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful topic. But before we start, we have to remind you of the two main ideas for the Rabbi Jenny Show. Two very main ideas that I hope you incorporate and make them a part of your life. Because when you do that, you change the way you view, you shift your paradigm. And that is up to you. You know, one of the things that I've realized in my own life is I can tell the stories that have been told to me, or I can write my own story. So this is all about shifting your own paradigm and your own view of things. The first main idea of the Rabbi Jenny Show is this: the world is happening for you and not to you. And that is 100% of the time, all the time, it is happening for you and not to you. Whether it seems that way or not, it just is. And why is it happening for you? Because you are divine love, light, energy, and you are always expanding, trying to become the biggest, brightest version of you. That is actually the reason why you're here. According to Jewish mysticism, we are all pieces of the same divine light. We are shattered and we're spread out here in life, and the whole goal is tikkun olam. The whole goal is to come together and become that one bright light. So when you shine, I shine. When they shine, we all shine. So the goal is to help everybody do that. Our topic today is kind of related to that. Our topic today is your body is a temple or a tabernacle. It depends on which scripture you read. And it is such a wonderful, wonderful topic. It is inspired by the Torah portion this week, which I'll talk a little bit about. And it's also inspired by some of my encounters at work with some of my clients and some of my own views of we have to get back in touch with our bodies. We have to start understanding how spectacular we truly are, because we are mind, body, and spirit. But we live in this house. And we need to understand how fantastic it is. Like, there's really nothing more fantastic than the human body. And I am going to, throughout today's show, give you some really, really ridiculously cool facts about your body that will blow you away. I was up all night last night reading all these hundreds and hundreds of fantastic facts about the human body. And I want you to take them and laugh at them and be amazed by the creation that you are, because you are unbelievable. The theme, I want to kind of stick with this idea of picking a quote that I take throughout the show. And the quote is from Carl Sagan, of all things. Carl Sagan is not a biologist. We know that. He spent a lot of time thinking about space. And he said about us that we are made of star stuff. And that was a famous Carl Sagan quote. And so that is our theme quote for the Rabbi Jenny Show today. We are made of star stuff. And we're going to take that into your body. Your body is made of star stuff. It is absolutely blow your mind fantastic. Now, in the Torah this week, Moses is building the tabernacle. All right. Now, if you are a kid who reads scripture and have to go to church on Sunday. If you're Jewish, you're reading about this week. So you're like, oh my God, it's the tabernacle. If you're getting bar mitzvah, you're like, ugh, my portion, I don't understand it. It's the tabernacle. If you're lucky enough to be of one of those other, fantastic faiths where your pastor can pull things from other areas, he might not talk about the tabernacle too much. But I have become fascinated with this portion of scripture because I really believe the Torah is a code of the soul. It is something we are supposed to study so we learn how to live better. It is also telling us how divine we really are, that we have come here to be an expression of the divine. When we talk about the tabernacle, you know how on the show I always tell you that all the characters in the Torah are in you, because those 22 Hebrew letters make up you. So all the characters are you. So the tabernacle is also you. So when you read this portion and you read about Moses and you read about how all the craftsmen came together, because this is Pekudei, and they're talking about the Mishkan. They're talking about the tabernacle and how everybody came together. And they go into such detail that you're like, this is Meshugana. Why do I need to know how many shekels they needed to melt to make the rings to hold the curtains in the tabernacle and the Torah? Why do I need to know that? And the reason why you need to know that, I believe, is very simple. We need to learn to have an appreciation for handiwork. I think as human beings, we need to have an appreciation for the handiwork that has gone into the creation of us. So when I read about the linens that they weave together purple and red and blue linens, which coincidentally are the same three colors that you will see when you open up any model of the human body. You have to appreciate the handiwork. And when you read about the gold and you read about the woodwork and the light and the effort that went into making the specific amount of things that all fit together to create this fantastic tabernacle, to host the Torah, to host the worship, to host the divine that sets us free, you cannot help but realize, at least if you're me, that they're talking about you. They're talking about the human body that ticks to a rhythm that nobody can quite figure out why. What ignites it? What keeps it going? I got to go into some of these facts because it's really fantastic, okay? I mean, I was giggling because I love to make you love how fabulous you are. So, did you know that when you blush, the lining of your stomach blushes too? If you're listening, that's fantastic. But this is even cooler. Nerve impulses travel to and from your brain at the speed of up to 250 miles per hour, which is faster than a Formula One race car. That is really, really cool. How about this? An adult human being is made up of 7 octillion atoms. For perspective, now I want you to listen, listeners, because from perspective, there's only a measly 300 billion stars in our galaxy. So I'm not really sure of the ratio of billion to octillion, but what I can tell you is that that's a lot more. And the facts go on and on. A full head of human hair, which if you're losing yours, sorry about that, but a full head of human hair is strong enough to support 12 tons. So when I think about the weaving of the gold, and I think about the weaving, and I read about all of this in Scripture, I think about the human being. And I think about the fact that the heart, the soul, the spirit, the essence of divinity has come to house in this temple. Swami Vivekananda said, the moment I have realized God sitting in the temple of every human body, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and see God in him, that moment I am free from bondage. Everything that binds is vanished, and I am free. We have lots of these. Your body is a flower that life let bloom. My gosh. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. That's Jim Rohn. Okay, I'm going to read you some more of these. Okay, this is a great one, okay, listeners? Inside your belly button, ready? Inside your belly button, if you're driving, I hope you're laughing, and I hope you're laughing from your belly button. Inside your belly button are thousands of bacteria that form an ecosystem the size of an entire rainforest. Just your belly button, one belly button, okay? So I want to explain, like, my inspiration for this is we don't really take care of our bodies. We don't really respect our bodies on the whole as a culture. We're busy rushing around and moving quickly. We don't think about the fact that we have all sorts of aspects to our body to respect. We may be going to the gym, but we may not be sleeping enough and drinking 12 cups of Starbucks a day. We may eat healthy, but we may give ourselves lots of stress worrying, okay? Your body produces 25 million new cells each second. Like, are you kidding me? 25 million. Okay, but this is one of my favorites. Human beings are bioluminescent. Do you know we glow in the dark? The reason why we don't see that we glow in our dark is because our eyes can't actually see it, but we are luminescent. Oh, I'm going to keep giving you these fabulous facts. I do want to talk to you about taking care of your body. And I read an article on tinybuddha.com. I love tinybuddha.com, so check it out. But this article was by Sam Russell, and this is 5 simple yet powerful ways to take care of your body. Now, if you're listening, this show came through this week, and it is very, very important that if you listen to my show every week, this show's for you. I believe every week it is for you. It is a message. It's for you to start thinking about your body. Start thinking about the different things I'm talking about on the show, because you may be doing a lot for your body, but it just might not be the right thing. Because it may be counterintuitive to what you've always done, but it may be the right thing that you need. You know, I mean, we get told a lot of different things by the media too. So I want you to think about these 5 things, and I have a feeling that maybe some of you are doing some of them, but there are some you're not, and I may even get a little personal about my own. So, all right, your body is precious. It is our vehicle for awakening. Treat it with care. That is from the Buddha. All right, so in this article, Sam Russell says 5 things to take care of your body. First one, take time for exercise. So you might be doing that one. Like, check, I'm doing that one. I go to the gym, I lift my weights, I look really good, Jenny, I'm doing it, I'm good, okay. All right, remember, there's more to our body. We heard about all the millions of miles of things that we have in our body. Okay, 2, make sleep a priority. Do we do that? Do you go to the gym and not sleep? Do you just say, well, that's just me, I've never gone to sleep? Or that's just me. Listen, we have DVRs, folks. We can tape anything. There is nothing like sleep. You know, try a night of sleep instead of Botox. You know? Okay. Eat well and savor it. This is such an interesting thing to say, because we may eat well, but we eat fast. We don't take the time to enjoy the company we're around while we're eating it. Because I'm going to tell you, one of the facts I'm going to read you is about stress. And that I think it's like a very, very high percentage of diseases are caused simply by stress. So, okay, 4, listen to pain. I'm very, very guilty of this. I swear I'm confessing, because I love to run, and I'm back in the gym, and I'm back running, and I'm not being a good girl because things are starting to hurt, and I still keep getting up and going to the gym. But listen to your pain, because your body is healing itself. So your body will start reacting to the pain. Your body will start, our guest later will maybe tell us more about it, will produce cortisone. There maybe do all sorts of things to deal with that pain. And if you're not listening to it, you're like fighting against your body. And then the 5th thing is to slow down. Okay, so this is Rabbi Jenny. We're talking about the body being a temple. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, Little Rod Stewart. We'll be right back with a very special guest talking about your body. Your body is a temple. Talk to me in a few. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
The presidential candidates are talking about it. The talk show hosts are talking about it. It's all over the news. Maybe it's time you should start talking about it. Maybe it's time for you to get help. If you or someone you love is suffering from a heroin addiction, Epiphany Resources has the solution for you. Heroin addiction manifests in an apathy and a disinterest in life. At Epiphany Resources, Rabbi Jenny and her acclaimed clinical team reignite and empower their clients to embrace life for a bright future in recovery. With groundbreaking creative and spiritual modalities combined with narrative reframing and cognitive behavioral therapy, the team at Epiphany Resources neutralize the cravings for heroin and reawaken one's desire for joy and life. It's time to talk about it. It's time to heal. It's time to recover from heroin addiction. Contact Epiphany Resources at www.etcfl.com or call 561-777-0241. Epiphany Resources. It's time to begin. The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net. You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hi, welcome back. It's Rabbi Jenny. We're talking about your body being a temple. This is such a delicious show. I want to read a quote. You know me and my quotes. I'm going to read a couple of facts and quotes, and then we're going to introduce you our guest. All right. The human body is the only machine for which there are no spare parts. That's Herman Hesse, who wrote the story of Siddhartha, or the Buddha. Okay, that's pretty amazing. And you know, when I read this quote, I started to look around at other things. I started to look around at cameras and cars and blenders and blow dryers. And I started to realize that most things that we create have spare parts. Excess, but not in the human body. Everything is used. Okay, so let's see. I have all these starred things. All right. If you stretched out the 300 million capillaries in your lungs, 300 million capillaries in your lungs end to end, you ready? The line would extend from Seattle to San Diego, or about 1,300 miles. Now, remember, the Torah talked about gold. I got to tell you, you got a little gold in you. All right? You're a little richer than you might think. Inside all of us, there's 0.2 milligrams of gold, most in your blood. It won't do much with it, but it could explain some of that reference in there. So I want to introduce our Tom, Dick, or Harry.
You're telling me Rabbi Jenny will talk to any Tom or Dick or Harry? Any Tom, any Dick, any Harry,
Today on our show, we have Dr. Raphael Monet, who is the medical director for the Port St. Lucie Hospital. He works in the behavioral health department. And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
We're so glad you came here. And I met Dr. Monet. We both work in the field of addiction. Tell us about Port St. Lucie Hospital and what your unit does up there.
Well, it's actually a standalone psychiatric facility, and we deal with dual diagnosis clients. And that means that they suffer from an addiction. Could be alcohol, opiates, a wide range of opiates, benzos, famous Xanax and such. And then we also have the affective component where they suffer from usually bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, some leftover ADHDs that should have turned into bipolars. But it's a 75-bed facility. It's divided into 5 units. Each unit has 15 beds. And 2 of the units actually specialize for those more disfortunate clients that come under what they call a Baker Act.
Right.
A Baker Act is where you're forced to come to a facility for a psychiatric evaluation. And people say, well, you know, it's only 72 hours. Well, the law gives us 72 hours where 2 doctors can agree on keeping you for that amount of time just to figure out what's wrong happened.
Right,
Why? Why did they bring you in? You're an imminent threat to yourself or to others, or it can be a neglect issue. You can no longer care for yourself. You're no longer taking your medications. And you started at the beginning of the show, you know, the body's a temple, so, you know, you have to protect it.
Yes.
And if you need nourishment. You're not eating right, or you're not getting any sleep. A lot of people who are bipolar cannot sleep.
Right.
They get wound up, and they just crash. They crash and burn, and it's horrible because then they're really out there, and they don't know what to do. So sometimes it's a blessing in disguise to actually be brought in under this big
I think so. Well, we were talking about that. We were actually talking about heroin, and I sort of want to talk about this because with regards to the body and what we're seeing is we're seeing more and more people who are taking pill form opiates coming in, taking IV intravenous heroin. They're switching to heroin, and I would think more Baker Acts because some of that is suicide some of that turns to a suicidal experience, apathy for life, and you're probably seeing an increase in that, I would assume.
Significant increase. The CDC, Center for Disease Control in the United States, for the year of 2014, printed a total of 77,055 people died in the United States of America from accidental overdoses. I mean, just losing one American breaks my heart. And to see so many people go. And a lot of people, you ask anybody, well, do you know anybody, a family or a loved one, somebody who might have lost something to that? Oh, yeah, Joe, or,
It's amazing.
It's
tell me
sad.
Tell me, before the show, you were telling me the numbers about that you have to, I don't remember it exactly, but you guys got to hear this because this is real and this is an election year and this is a real serious issue in our country. So give me the numbers about addiction and what's really going on.
I really think that the real battle that we have here in the United States is against drugs.
Right.
1 in 7 Americans suffers from an addiction. And the average American is spending about $100 a day.
Now, you guys hear that, $100 a day on their addiction. Okay.
And 1 in 7 Americans, about 40 million Americans, times 100 is $4 billion a day that America spends
on drugs.
Tax-free dollars.
Yes.
On getting high.
It's crazy.
I tell my students all the time, I said, okay, let's do the math. How much is that times 365 days in a year? It's $1.46 trillion. I'm sorry. $1 trillion.
Yeah.
It's huge. And that's just, buying the drugs and to get high. What about the treatment?
Yes.
People who seek treatment. And again, only 10% of these Americans afflicted with this disease seek help. So those who come to my facility or anybody that I know, other facilities that I'm affiliated with, I commend them. I say, thank you for coming.
Yes.
For saving yourself. Because at least they took that extra step to seek the help they needed.
Well, and it's to me, it's amazing because it represents such a major part of our population and also represents sort of like a tune-out. Like people are becoming very tuned out. And when you talk about drug addiction, you're definitely talking about a body experience. You're definitely talking about harming the body, that people are disconnected from their body, and where people would just naturally not choose to do things. When we were talking about like just shooting heroin, doing opiates, these words that nobody wants to talk about. Like that was taboo when I was a kid. That was huge. It was like, no, it was like, you just didn't do that. And now it doesn't even occur to my clients that it's harmful. The actual physical act of doing it is harmful.
In the medical field, we've gone as far as the needle exchange program.
Yes.
They're actually working on get that going now in the Miami-Dade area. Mm-hmm. Why? Because, it's giving and taking. Mm-hmm. We're trying to avoid spread of disease.
Right.
Hepatitis, HIV, by giving them clean needles. But now, are we facilitating this?
Well, it's like Narcan. I mean, not many people might know Narcan. We just did a Narcan training at Epiphany where I work. And, I have a very strong opinion about needle exchanges and things like Narcan because it reminds me of methadone. And if you know anything about the methadone clinics, they're extremely ineffective. And in fact, the detox process for methadone is some of the most harmful, it's some of the most horrible detox that I've ever seen anybody go through. But it's just a Band-Aid. It's not like, what is going on? What is the disconnection from the body? Like, what, as a doctor, as a physician, Dr. Monet, what do you think people need more of to become more connected or body conscious in our culture, just in general?
For those who seek help, we need to convince the insurance companies that they need more time in treatment.
Yeah, we were talking about that today.
Yeah, you check into my facility. We try our best to bring you down slowly off of, and it's usually a polypharmacy. It's not just one drug.
Right.
Oh, I started shooting up heroin, and then I got some Dilaudid, and then a friend of mine brought over some Xanny bars, Xanax. Everybody in Miami has a little bit of Xanax somewhere.
Right.
It's like common. And the bottom line is that now we are putting all these poisons into our bodies, and now to detox from them,
It's intense.
it's intense. And now you're trying to bring the body off of these different
And
chemicals.
and you beg for 4 days from an insurance company. I used to walk, like, years ago when I was a chaplain in treatment after seminary. My benzodiazepine patients, which is Xanax and drugs like that, for the first 2 weeks of treatment, all I did was walk with them around the treatment center. That's all I did. We did no work. We didn't really do anything. I literally would walk with them in nature, walk with them, because the anxiety, the side effects in the body from the detox was so extreme that even those first 2 weeks were kind of like I don't want to say like a write-off, but it was a write-off as far as any serious treatment work. Like, you weren't going to get to any of the person's issues or start empowering them. There was a physical need to be in treatment. And then you get to the mental and spiritual reasons. And are you seeing like a difficulty in funding just a decent detox?
Very much so. I mean, like you mentioned, the days, we're lucky if we get 5 to 7 days on these clients. Methadone, you ask anybody come off of methadone, and they call it a bone pain. They feel as though the pain is coming out of their bones.
Right.
And it's a good 2 weeks. Methadone is the least prescribed and the most lethal because it has 5 half-lives.
Right.
So it accumulates in your body to the point where it can become toxic very, very easily.
Right.
And it blows my mind that some people can tolerate so many different products. I mean, you're talking about people like Marilyn Monroe. Oh, she died. How did she die? She took a tricyclic antidepressant, old antidepressant, with alcohol. Boom, she's gone. Why? Because by taking the alcohol, it's synergistic. It pushes the dose of the
Do you
tricyclic.
think that some of it's, I mean, this is going to sound crazy because, I mean, do you think some of it's just the poor, our food? I mean, do you think it is as kids are just, their bodies are more toxically adjusted that they can withstand? I mean, it used to be, you do too many pills with booze, you die. I mean, that's the way it used to be. And now it's like garbage cans. It's crazy.
They just grow tolerance to it.
All right, we're gonna get a little bit more into what we can do to reconnect with the body, and we might stay on our soapbox here about the addiction issue. This is Rabbi Jenny. I'm here with Dr. Raphael Monet. We'll be right back.
The presidential candidates are talking about it. The talk show hosts are talking about it. It's all over the news. Maybe it's time you should start talking about it. Maybe it's time for you to get help. If you or someone you love is suffering from a heroin addiction, Epiphany Resources has the solution for you. Heroin addiction manifests in an apathy and a disinterest in life. At Epiphany Resources, Rabbi Jenny and her acclaimed clinical team reignite and empower their clients to embrace life for a bright future in recovery. With groundbreaking creative and spiritual modalities combined with narrative reframing and cognitive behavioral therapy, the team at Epiphany Resources neutralize the cravings for heroin and reawaken one's desire for joy and life. It's time to talk about it. It's time to heal. It's time to recover from heroin addiction. Contact Epiphany Resources at www.etcfl.com or call 561-777-0241. Epiphany Resources. It's time to begin. The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from the Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Get in touch with him.
Yep.
Hi, welcome back. It's Rabbi Jenny. Happy Wednesday. We're talking about the body is a temple. This is exciting. We're here with Dr. Raphael Monet from Port St. Lucie Hospital. We're actually talking about something issue that's very near and dear to us both professionally and I think personally as a human being in America right now. This is an epidemic. We're talking about addiction and the body. And what is this about? Why are people not taking care of their bodies, you know? What about you, Raphael? We're going to get a little personal before we talk about, you know, your hospital and how people can get in touch with you. How are you doing with treating your body like a temple?
I'm doing really bad. We have to start with the exercise, but we're buying the neighbor's house and we're going to demolish it, so that's how I get in shape.
Oh, your construction.
I grew up around construction, so that's my forte.
So in the list of 5 things, that's the one thing, the exercise, you're sleeping?
Yeah, I sleep pretty
You're
rested.
sleeping good? You're eating well?
Yes, my wife's a great cook. We used to eat out a lot, but now it's more at home. You know, all the salt and all the spices on the outside.
And this is the one that was interesting to me, and I think that you can relate to this, listening to your pain. Like, part of the thing I see in addiction is, like, it actually causes physical pain. The using, the what you have to go through there's no recognition of pain. And what about for yourself? Is there an area of your life where you're not listening to your pain?
Well, a few years ago,
I always got to get personal.
A few years ago, I had a physical pain. I felt as though a grenade had gone off in the center of my brain, and I was bleeding. I had an arteriovenous malformation, something you're born with. And apparently, you know, because I wasn't doing the 5 or the 4 steps, because this is the 5th one, I wasn't taking care of myself. And my blood pressure was going up. And I had a little bleed in a part of your brain called the cerebellum. And I was in New York, another construction deal. That's how my part-time thing. Yeah, I like to tinker. And I was bleeding. I go to get a glass of water. My wife, who's a nurse, honey, you're slurring your words. I said, really?
Okay.
Okay. You know, my tongue is thick. Let's go. You're stroking out on me. And there it was.
Wow.
So here comes Hurricane Sandy. So I was in the neurosurgical ICU for 13 days.
Wow.
3 of the days was waiting for the hurricane to pass because they shut everything down in case there was a major catastrophe, they would be ready to treat everybody, not just me.
Right.
And I understand that. And but yeah, they went in and had to learn how to walk, talk.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And did you have the pain for a little while before you noticed it?
It was the night, in the middle of the night, it hit me. And it's classic. It's classic. You know, when you're in medical school, they
Right.
say the worst headache you ever had. You're bleeding into your brain. The blood is
Wow.
actually toxic on the surface of the brain,
Wow.
and that's
Wow.
why it hurts so much. So
But it's human nature that it has to get so bad, you know.
Right.
And that's the truth of it, is that we go too fast, we get really busy, we work really hard. I also want to talk about this idea of the construction, because our listeners, we're talking about how to, you know, get more in touch and treat your body as a temple. And I think that your body is something that you use. It's something that it's your house, and it's how you go about your life. And choosing to balance what you do with your body is an important thing too. Like if you're working all the time, but you're not doing things that bring you pleasure and joy,
right.
your body is going to feel that. And do you see like a trend with your clients that they stop doing certain things in their addiction, or is there anything that you see, a disinterest in life that happens?
Addiction. We all heard in AA, you know, rock bottom. Mm-hmm. You do. You hit rock bottom. Why? Who has $100 to spend a day? Mm-hmm. They're not working. Where do they get the money?
Right.
They rob from their family. Mm-hmm. Mom, can I have $10 to go to the movies? You know? Mm-hmm. Then they have a friend who has a car. Mm-hmm. The other guy has the $90, and they go out and they spend the money to buy the pills and whatever, and it's crazy. I mean, Florida passed a couple of laws a few years ago to curb the prescription of the painkillers.
Right.
There was a huge sign in Georgia as you're coming into Florida,
Yeah.
calling us the pill capital of the United States. 85% of all the major pain medication prescriptions were coming out of the state of Florida for the whole nation. So
We got rid of those clinics, though.
we started killing the
Yeah.
pill mills, and a lot of people started seeking help, like over here at the Port St. Lucie Hospital with me, and turning their lives around. From there, there's a step down. You can go and spend more time, called the partial hospitalization. And afterwards, you know, we refer them out to an intensive outpatient. The difference is the partial is Monday through Friday, and the IOP, or intensive outpatient, is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's less money for the insurance to pay out, and
Right.
usually they will pay just to keep you in the loop and keep you sober.
How does your facility, what is, you know, I know in a detox, you know, people are saying, what is a detox? If you have a son or daughter or a spouse, or even you suffering with addiction and you're interested in going to detox, what can a client expect? Because you know, it's not just the medical part. I'm sure you have supplemental experience, like maybe they have groups, or maybe they meet with
There's
a counselor.
a lot of groups. There's counselors. The facility, again, it's 5 units, 15 beds each, and then there are 2 of the units are really geared towards dual diagnosis clients
Right.
that have an addiction issue and an emotional one. And but it's not to say that these clients can go in other units.
Yes.
And we offer constantly offer them groups. We have groups with the social workers, mental health counselors, the nurses, talking about their medications. I'm actually considering, and I think it will be something, an asset to the hospital, to start talking to the clients about some of the information I have from the CDC regarding the drug abuse issue and what Rabbi Jenny mentioned, the heroin epidemic. I mean, right now, it's like there's no significant criteria to start shooting up heroin.
No. And honestly, you know, I was talking about it, you know, and this is, you know, it's like beer when I was younger. That is how normal it is. In a sense, it's a crazy. I mean, you have kids in college.
Insane.
You have kids in good colleges, and that's their recreational time. I mean, it's crazy. It's like it used to be a keg.
When they passed the laws, now they can't go to the pill mills to get the prescription to get the prescription pain medicines, which are
Yeah.
opiates. Okay, let me go to the dealer on the corner and just buy heroin. But what's happening now up in Ohio, I mean, we've seen people dying like flies because they're adding a very strong, very potent opiate into the heroin called fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Yeah.
Fentanyl is 1,000 times stronger than morphine. Who's the rocket scientist who's putting these ingredients together?
Well, I mean, I always call it the passive genocide. I always have
I
to
love
say
that
it when I
term,
talk
yeah.
because I really believe that heroin doesn't just end up at high schools. I mean, I'm not going to try to figure out who's putting it there, but I mean, it's just like crack in the '90s. It just doesn't get there. Something is bringing it into the port. Something's going on. You just couldn't get it. It was like a mythology when I was in high school. Like that was just something you read in like a book by some hippie guy. Like it just wasn't. It wasn't like a regular thing. So I mean, but it is. It's real. And my concern on this show is to give people the courage to talk about it. We have Dr. Monet here, and to get
And
you
call.
comfortable just talking about it. Call Port St. Lucie Hospital. The number's not on the screen, but Dr. Monet, what's the hospital for the number for the detox?
It's area code 772, and the number is 335-0400. You'll be contacted by somebody there, and you can give them information regarding your insurance. We do take a certain amount of indigent clients that have no insurance, certain criteria you have to meet. But the thing is, just to seek the help. You want to be the 10% that seeks help,
Yeah.
that survives. I love to do numbers with my students. And one of the things was, beyond the numbers that we already spoke about, if you figure that 47,055 people are going to die every year in the United States of America because it's epidemic, in 21 years, 1 million Americans will have died.
And I believe that number is growing. I mean, I think that's a conservative estimate. I want you to get comfortable. It's like I have some crude references for heroin myself, but I want people to get comfortable talking about it because it's like other taboo things that we didn't want to talk about HIV. We didn't want to talk about all sorts of other things in our culture. And this is real, and this is being talked about on TV. It's being talked about by the presidential candidates. It's a hot topic, but it's our children. And why are they so easy to harm their bodies? And that was part of my inspiration for today's show, is that we have to question that. How are we going to get our young people more in touch with how valuable and divine they are? So thank you, Dr. Raphael Monet. You'll stick
pleasure.
around for the last part
sure will.
and be an audience. And
All right.
This is Rabbi Jenny. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life. The presidential candidates are talking about it. The talk show hosts are talking about it. It's all over the news. Maybe it's time you should start talking about it. Maybe it's time for you to get help. If you or someone you love is suffering from a heroin addiction, Epiphany Resources has the solution for you. Heroin addiction manifests in an apathy and a disinterest in life. At Epiphany Resources, Rabbi Jenny and her acclaimed clinical team reignite and empower their clients to embrace life for a bright future in recovery. With groundbreaking creative and spiritual modalities combined with narrative reframing and cognitive behavioral therapy, the team at Epiphany Resources neutralize the cravings for heroin and reawaken one's desire for joy and life. It's time to talk about it. It's time to heal. It's time to recover from heroin addiction. Contact Epiphany Resources at www.etcfl.com or call 561-777-0241. Epiphany Resources. It's time to begin.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
I want you to come on. Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. This has been an amazing, amazing show. There's never enough time in this hour. So maybe that's what our show will be about next week, time, and how frustrating it is that there isn't enough time in the hour. We are talking about the body is a temple, but it is that time, folks, because there's someone on the phone, and it is time for the Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Joy, 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 joy. It's Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time for the Rabbi Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Hi, who's on the phone?
I'm Denise.
Who is it?
Denise.
Denise.
Yes,
Denise who?
Denise Jordan. I'm from the American Parkinson's Disease Association.
Hey, Denise Jordan from the American Parkinson's Disease Organization. Do you know about the Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge?
I do.
Are you ready with your 10 things that make you ridiculously joyful?
Absolutely.
All right, Denise, let's hear them, girl.
All right. Making a difference, my friends, my family, my job, the world in which I live in, my health, my ability to learn new things, and that I'm always changing. And the last one is that I'm talking with you.
Oh, my God. And what about your body? Is your body gorgeous? Do you love it?
Love it.
Do you love it, love it, love it?
It's my engine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, girl. So what do you want to promote today on the Rabbi Jenny Show?
So today I want to promote that April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, and that in April it's the perfect month for the American Parkinson's Disease Association to run our annual optimism walk in Boca Raton.
What's the date of that, my dear?
It is Sunday, September 17th.
Sunday, September
April 17th.
April, I was going to say,
17th.
girl, do you want to come on the show to talk about it?
Oh, I would love to.
That would be really, really great. I'd love to talk about Parkinson's. I actually have everybody has a personal friend connected to everything, but I would absolutely love for you to come on the show. How do people get in touch? How do people sign up to get sponsors and participate in the walk?
Sure, absolutely. So they can register. They can either call me at 800-825-2732 or my personal email, which is djordan@apdaparkinson.org.
Parkinsons.org. Okay.
That's right. This single.
D. Jordan. Okay, Denise. 800-825-2732. So
That's
is
right.
this a run? Is this just a walk? What is it? Is it just a walk?
Yes, it's actually a walk, and what we do is our aim is to build awareness and raise funds for the American Parkinson's Disease Association. So what happens is that it allows us to continue to support people with Parkinson's through support groups, health and wellness programs, education, and also to really fund medical research.
Wonderful. Okay, Denise, again, that's April 17th, Sunday. What time is it like 7 a.m. like most of these walks?
No. Registration at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Warm up at 8:30.
Uh-huh.
Opening ceremony at 9, and walk begins at 9:30.
All right, and how far is it? A 5K?
Oh, it's not far. It's just around the mall. It's like 0.33 miles.
Oh, Lord.
It's not a big
Lord.
thing.
Which
That's
mall?
right.
Which
We're gonna have
mall?
lots of
Which
fun.
mall are they walking?
It's going to be at Town Center at Boca Raton.
Of course, a fancy schmancy mall. Okay, Denise, I want you to tell me something. What's your favorite part about your body? Come on.
My favorite part about my body is my brain.
Oh, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Did you hear the fabulous fact that we are faster than a race car driver? Race
Yes,
car?
indeed.
Yes. All right, Denise, thanks for calling into the Rabbi Jenny Show. I'm going to get in touch with you
All
about
right,
coming
keep
on
going.
for your event.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, girl. Have a good one.
All right.
Stay
Thank
joyful.
you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
Oh, that was lovely, lovely, lovely. I have to read you this quote by Michelangelo because it is really, really important to understand how beautiful your body is. And I'm going to kind of slow it down here. We got a little soapboxy. We started talking about how we harm our body. But the truth is that love and appreciation, I believe, is the most important remedy. Peace, love, and appreciation for the self, for other people's selves is important. Okay, so listen to this quote by Michelangelo because I need you to know that I think it's like 1/4, 1/5, 1/3. I don't know. You have a lot of bones in your foot, okay? I think the majority of bones in your body are like actually in your foot, which is just fantastic. So Michelangelo has this quote, and it's, "What spirit is so empty and blind that it cannot recognize the fact that the foot is more noble than the shoe, and skin more beautiful than the garment with which it is clothed." I mean, delicious. And nobody appreciated the human form or body on the outside than Michelangelo. But he had, and in that time, they might have had no idea of the fantastic things that are going on the inside. So it is time for the Jenny Jam. Jenny Jam.
Yo,
Do it.
jam,
It's a sexy jam.
jam.
All right.
Jam.
It's going to be short and sexy because we got to bring your body to me. Bring your body, baby, okay? Bring that body here. Baby love, bring that body here. All right, let's see. Temple of worship, a sight to behold. Intricate beauty, broken the mold, working together, beating the bone, sticky and lovely, velvety throne. Ooh, that's a short one because I gotta read you guys this poem. I'm cutting it off. I gotta read you something. I've just been switching things up here on the Rabbi Jenny Show because it is important that you understand the power of words, and I want to read you this because I want you guys to get the idea that you need to love yourself no matter what is going on. That body of yours is fantastic. Maybe it doesn't work like everyone. Maybe you got something that other people don't want to have or whatever, something. Anyway, this is called I Could Just Float. I could just float, listeners, up into the sky when I feel all right with the size of my thighs, the length of my waist and the freckles on my face, the color of my hair, a little gray, not a care. Pockets and pockets of cellulite. Ain't nothing gonna drag me down tonight. I could just glide over the ocean when I am okay with the way I walk, I talk, I move, I groove, when I like my ideas, what I choose to wear, despite the TV and the magazines saying how I should be. A size 3, please. I could just fall asleep, listeners, in the clouds and wake up proud of the woman or man that I am. Part of the bigger plan. Listen up. Every cell in my body designed and crafted by his hands. I could just float. And I'm going to float way up high, listeners, because I am going to talk to you about the importance of love, connection, and being with people, and hugs and kisses. Because the truth is, our body does not only recognize fantastic chemicals and things that we put in it, but it does recognize things like loneliness. It has been proven that loneliness is actually physically painful. Just as you have a drive to avoid physical pain, you have a similarly powerful drive in your body to connect with others and seek companionship in order to avoid the pain of loneliness. The most important thing you can start doing, folks, is loving others and loving yourself. There was another article that I read, and I'm going to find it because I wanted to talk about it on thetinybooty.com because you know I love it. And it is important. You can learn to love your body. You can take care of your body, but then learn to love it. Like, take it to the next level. Like, love your body. Fall in love with it. 4 steps. Focus on your health and feeling well. Start telling yourself how beautiful you are. How many times a day do you tell yourself something you have to fix about you? Every time you tell yourself something you have to fix about you, you're actually affirming that that thing needs to be fixed. Just start fixing it and tell yourself you're beautiful. Okay? Words create things, my friends. Treat yourself the way you treat someone you love. I cook good. Nah, not really. Not anymore. My son. Oh, I had to eat my own words, but I used to. But I'll tell you what, I'll make him a grilled cheese before I'll make me a grilled cheese. But treat yourself the way you would treat someone you love. You would never, ever, ever speak to someone the way you speak to yourself, listeners. And we know that. You have to stay positive, and you have to be grateful. I can tell you that one of the greatest lessons someone ever gave me, because there was years ago where I just absolutely hated myself, about almost 21 years ago. I absolutely hated myself. I could not look in the mirror. I was actually suffering with my own addiction and my own past pain. I hated myself very, very, very much. Somebody taught me this very, very cool lesson about my body. She said, what is something in your body that you love, Rabbi Jenny? She didn't say that. She said Jennifer back then. And I really like my left ear. And I got to tell you, it worked because I could look in the mirror at my left ear. And it was kind of cute. So what I want you to do, folks, I want you to love your body. I want you to treat it as the temple because you are divine, you are love, you are light, and I adore you. And we will talk to you next week. Keep shining. Bye-bye.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.